What will the future bring? Carl Jung starts off his book, The Undiscovered Self, with this potent question. Writing in the 1950s, in the midst of the Cold War and after two brutal world wars, Jung was very aware of two movements happening in society: the death of the individual and the rise of state absolutism. Jung writes, "The mass crushes out the insight and reflection that are still possible with the individual, and this necessarily leads to doctrinaire and authoritarian tyranny if ever the constitutional state should succumb to a fit of weakness." There is a circular, reinforcing relationship between these two things: the loss of individual freedom and the rise of tyranny. If enough individuals cede their freedom to the social mind, then a psychic epidemic takes hold of the population, causing one's true self to disappear and forcing the mind to cling to simplistic fantasies and slogans that bypass the rational mind and speak directly to the darker motives hiding within man. In the mob, man is able to express hatred, narcissism, and all manner of vanity in the name of patriotism and glory. Jung writes, "Their chimerical ideas, upborn by fanatical resentment, appeal to the collective irrationality and find fruitful soil there. For they express all those motives and resentments which lurk in more normal people under the cloak of reason and insight." The rest of his first chapter is devoted to a brief explanation of the process and reasons why the individual, in this mechanized modern world, loses himself in abstraction and the madness of the collective ego. This loss of the individual, who is after all the sole carrier of reality, stems partly from a crisis of meaning. When the individual feels that his life lacks purpose, when it is boring and tedious, and in this capitalist world, it's just a circle, right? You wake up, work at some crappy job, and go to sleep. And the goal of life is forgotten in this daily routine. So what is the goal of life, you may ask? It lies in the development of the free spirit, as Nietzsche might call it. It's about finding your true self beyond the conditions of your circumstances and education. So I have an important question for you guys. What do you think this true self that Jung talks about is? And what are the techniques that one can use to develop inner freedom? I'd be interested to hear your ideas. And so thank you so much. Have a great day.